Hi everybody and welcome to Constitution Dock in Hobart. I've just left the press conference that was held at 4:30 p.m. with the Vice Commodore, and we now have further details on the deceased, which I'm going to read because it is too difficult to verbalise for you all. So as we've been reporting all day, we had 2 deaths overnight in similar incidences on separate boats. So Roy Quaden was 55. He was from Western Australia. He was a crew member on Flying Fish Arctos in New South Wales. He unfortunately was struck by the yacht's boom during an incident which occurred overnight approximately 30 nautical miles east-southeast of Ulladulla, my hometown. Fellow crew members performed CPR, but they could not revive him. Nick Smith was 65. He was from South Australia. He was a crew member on Bowline. It's understood he was also struck by the yacht's boom. In fact, he was caught by the main sheet and then unfortunately hit his head on a winch, which is how his life ended. They were 30 nautical miles northeast of Bateman's Bay. The MOB that occurred, which was from Porco Rosso, his name was Luke Watkins. He was lost and was eventually 1.25 nautical miles from his boat at 3:15 this morning. He was successfully retrieved, but the boat has retired. Whew. So first things first, our condolences to the family of those who were lost. And I think we just can't reiterate enough that we are really thinking about Roy Quaden and Nick Smith and their families and loved ones and their crewmates at this time. Incredibly tough circumstances. There are 83 yachts still racing, and behind me you can see a very empty Constitution dock. At the moment, Law Connect does lead on line honours. They're just over 120 nautical miles from the finish line, which is just in the distance, the yellow Rolex mark over there. It might be a very different feeling in the air here in Hobart. It was a very packed room for the announcement from the Rear Commodore of the names of those 2 gentlemen who were lost at sea last night. Very confronting for me. The first Hobart that I really remember and got passionate about this race was in 1998. I am from Milton Ulladulla. My dad woke me up in the middle of the night and took me down to the harbour to assist with all of the boats that came into the harbour that evening. So yeah, it's quite interesting that there hasn't actually been a death since then. That was when I promised my mum that I would never do the race, and I have not actually competed in the race, but I have covered 13 of them. So it's really interesting that the Rear Commodore reiterated that this isn't the worst conditions that we've seen by any stretch, but the club will go to great lengths to ensure that they can learn from this experience, educate crews, see what they can do to hopefully prevent this from happening again, as will no doubt the New South Wales Police and Marine Rescue. And again, our thoughts and thanks go out to New South Wales Police and all of those volunteers who are working over the holiday period in rescue positions. Big thanks also to Tasmanian Police. We had our briefing with them earlier today. They create this bubble around the boat when it's finishing for line honours. So we've got our flag and we're all ready to go. You may have seen us testing our systems this afternoon, just trying to make sure that everything's ready to go for line honours, because as a sailor, we know that the onus is on us when we go racing, but still really hits home that this can be a reality in our sport. So we're going to really try hard to still bring you some amazing coverage of the finish for those 83 boats that are still racing and do our best from there. So just to recap those retirements for you as well, a live RP66, last year's overall winner, also won in 2018, retired with motor issues there in Wollongong. Transcendence, the lovely boat with the double-handed with the crosses, was dismasted and they are off Kiama. Chow Bella had steering issues. They're returning to Sydney. URM was dismasted. They're safely in Eden. Just heard from Alice Parker just now, and she sent love our way. How good is she? She just sent love to everybody here in Hobart, as it could be a very strange scenario over the coming days. Philosopher also dismasted. In fact, their mast was in several pieces. They've headed to Jervis Bay. Masterlock Comanche had mainsail issues, and we've now heard that as they were heading to Eden, they also assisted or were on standby to assist potentially with some of these fatalities, which is very distressing, but grateful as always for them for stepping in. Wild Oats had rigging damage. They headed into Kiama. Calibre 12 mainsail damage. Centennial 7 mainsail damage. They're in Eden. Porco Rosso with that MOB, they're in Eden. Mayfair actually broke their steering wheel. Had a few updates from that. Thank you to our adventurers for following. And they've motored north. Flying Fish Arctos, as I mentioned, that unfortunate death of Roy Quaden, 55. They've retired. They're safely in Jervis Bay. They're at HMAS Creswell. Bowline, they're at Bateman's Bay. And our thoughts go out to Nick Smith's family and also Quaden's family. Zeus had foil damage and they've headed north. Rum Rebellion is in Bateman's Bay. Bacchanal broke their boom. They're still heading north. Pretty Woman had headstyle foil damage. And the latest retirees, Georgia Express, had an electrical fire. That's contained. The crew are all okay. They're heading to Eden with a police vessel supporting them. Lord Jiminy, their crew members' existing injury had a flare-up and they're heading to Eden. Verity had electrical issues, all crew okay, heading to Eden. And Quetzalcoatl, they're in Eden. They had a crew injury, but all are okay. So a variety of damage from mainsails to broken rigs to crew injuries, all okay apart from those 2 deceased. And so very different kind of race here, but we're still trying to give it our all. And thank you so much for all your comments. We'll keep testing our systems this afternoon. We'll keep keeping you updated. And it's looking like anywhere from an 11:30 midnight, maybe out to 2 a.m. finish. On IRC, the Volvo 70 Celestial is absolutely smoking. They're also in second on line honours, so it could be very interesting. Double-handed, Mistral leading overall on line honours, and on IRC it's Maritimo Catwincher. Mr. Spees doing very well on the oldest boat in the fleet, and that is why we love this sport. You can have the oldest boat racing against the newest boat, a fully crewed boat racing against a double-handed boat, father and son, mother-daughter racing on Fika against absolutely professional crews. So trying to focus on the positives here. We'll continue to keep you posted. Stay tuned to Sailor Girl HQ.